Hi, good day. I'm Lyra May Aranday Rosales, leader of the Group 4. So our lesson for today is language in contact and variations. Table of contents, language in variation, dialect, dialects, styles, language in contact, pidgins, from pidgin to crowels, language contact in contemporary world, the world of languages, and suffering. Language in variation. Strictly speaking, the speech pattern of individual is somewhat different from the speech pattern of the next. Even though the two speak language and regional varieties of language differ from each other by features of vocabulary, grammar, and pronunciation. So there are three types of language varieties. It's dialect, dialect, and styles. Language variation, it means from the word itself, variation is to differ. Ito yung pagkakaiba ng mga features ng isang lengguwahe sa isang kultura o komunidad. So what is a dialect? It refers to an individual's unique variety and our use of language from the level of the phoneme to the level of discourse. It is impossible to identify over the telephone people we know well without their having to say who they are. Or similarly, we recognize familiar television newscaster even we cannot see them on the screen. Idiolect ay tono ng boses or pananalita. This dialect. It refers to a form of language or speech used by members of a regional ethnic or social group. Dialects that are mutually intelligible belong to the same language. All languages spoken by more than one small homogeneous community are found to consist of two or more dialects. A dialect is a form of language spoken by a smaller group. Someone's accent is a part of the dialect. In this way, sometimes someone's accent can show where they are from. Dialect. Ito ay lengguwahe ng komunidad. For example, Kapampangan, Panggalatok, Ibanag, Ilocano. The last one is style. It refers to a way of speaking, how speaker use the resource of language variation to make meaning in social encounters. Speech styles are those comparable to styles of dress. One would feel out of place and uncomfortable going on hiking trip in formal attire or attending a traditional wedding reception in sneaker, jeans, and sweatshirt. Similar, a person who might use the vulgar expression "I'm peace" when talking with former schoolmates would probably substitute the colloquial phrase "I'm mad." Under the other circumstances, use such words as angry are abbreviated under more formal conditions. Styles. Ito ay lengguwaheng ginagamit konforme sa sitwasyon, okasyon, or sa kausap mo.
Language in contact. Language contact occurs when speakers of two or more language of variety interact and influence each other. The study of language contact is called contact linguistics. When speakers of different language interact closely, it is typically for their language to influence each other. For example, Hawaiian gave English ukulele, Bantu gamboo, Zek polka, Cantonese wok, Arabic algebra, German pretzel, and Malay rice paddy. Of course, English has contributed hundreds of words in other languages as well, such as weekend to French, boyfriend to Russian, aerobics classes to German, and beefsteak to many language. Pidgins. Pidgins language which have come about in a situation where people needed to communicate but where no common language existed. Typically, a pidgin originated when speakers of two or more mutually unintelligible languages developed a need communication with each other for certain limited or specialized purposes, especially trade. Because pidgin have much narrower ranges of function than the language of which they substitute. They possess a limited vocabulary, and because they need to be learned rapidly for the sake of efficiency, they have a substantially reduced grammatically structure.
Pidgin to Creole. Ang pidgin na wika ay isang pinadaling paraan ng komunikasyon sa gramatika na nabubuo sa pagitan ng dalawa o higit pang mga pangkat na walang lengguwahe na karaniwan. Karaniwang ang bokabularyo at gramatika nito ay limitado at kadalasan nakuha mula sa maraming wika. Ang isang example nito is Buenos dias or kung sa Filipino ay magandang umaga. Isa pa ay Buenas noches kung sa Filipino ay magandang gabi. Creoles. Ang isang wika na unang pidgin at kalaunan ay naging likas na wika or nativized ng mga batang isinilang sa komunidad ng pidgin. Nagamit ito sa mahabang panahon hanggang sa magkaroon ng pattern o tuntuning sinusunod na ng karamihan. Example nito is ako kita ganda babae or sa Filipino, nakita ako ng isang magandang babae. Ang Creole ay ganap na nakabuo ng bokabularyo at pattern grammar. Naniniwala ang karamihan sa mga linguista na ang Creole ay lumalaki sa pamamagitan ng isang prosesong nativization ng isang pidgin kapag natutunan at ginagamit ng mga bata ng mga nagsasalita ng pidgin speaker bilang kanilang katutubong wika. Language contact in contemporary world. Dito naman, dahil sa epekto ng mga electronic mass media tsaka internet, nagiging malabnaw ang ating mga wika. Dahil doon, nakipag-ugnayan pa rin ng wika sa napakakomplikadong pamamaraan. Dito naman is example is Japanese. Yung English ay napakalaking impluensya sa bansa simula ng panahon ng mga Hapon noong 19th century. Halos yung mga Hapon kumukuha ng 6 years of formal English sa school. Pero yung Japan is hindi bilingual na bansa. At karamihan sa mga Hapon din ay hirap matuto gamit yung English, lalo na sa pakikipag-usap.
The topic is all about the word of language. The word of language may come as a surprise to learn that no one's exactly know the many language. As a spoken word today, one of the standard search of suggests the total more than 6,900 Gordon years of 2005. This number of includes great language, but included pidgins as well as the thousands of language in the course of the history. And prehistory that may have disappeared without a trace. There are several reasons for the lack of person of gagging word of linguistic diversity. The figure of sum of 6,900 language in as an impressive number when the considers that each language represents a distinct means of communication, with its own elaborated structure of unique way to describing of non-cultural universe of the speaker. However, term of the numbers of the speaker the rate of the numbers today's word population makes use of a relative few language. It obvious to at this point of human history, speakers of some language have been more successful than speakers of other, whether of consequence historical accident or some other circumstances. The great event has proven of speakers that word language is graphically represented. Although of 6,900 languages, it is assignable of several hundred language groups of families are current spoken key, overperforming majority of the speak. Language belong of only dozen or so family with a European of top of list for the most speakers. The word spread of English and various others of the European language dates back to the beginning of the age of discovery in the mid-15th century. Among the great variety of language of pidgins occupy the special place of the means of communication. Their vocabularies are limited because they are not often perform broad range of the function that characterize and full language. Competency is one of language only typically most American with English their mother tongue. Is a communication is uncommon in the rest of the world. There were of hundreds of millions people able to speak several languages. Of language varieties, they are multilingual or diglossic. Okay. Sabi po, marami pong language dito sa ating mundo na kung saan lumaki tayo at nagkaisip, yun na po yung language natin mga kasanayan or mga kagisnan. For example po, tayo po ay language natin, kinalakihan natin ay Tagalog or Pilipino tayo. Yun na po yung gagamitin natin hanggang sa pagtanda.